The laziest and tastiest way to make lasagna. Today I'm going to show you how to make ravioli lasagna. When we make lasagna in our house, we like to cheat and use a little ravioli. Now for today's recipe, we are using the plain cheese ravioli and it tastes amazing. But you can switch it out to your favorite type. They have a spinach one that is delicious, and there is a beef one as well, but we usually like making our own beef sauce, so that's why we use the cheese one. So we love using the cheese ravioli because it has the ricotta cheese in it, and this way we don't have to spread that ricotta cheese on the lasagna, which can be kind of time consuming. So that's why this is the laziest way to make it. First, preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. First, I preheated a skillet over medium-high heat. Now, I like to use a deeper skillet because this does have a lot of sauce, and you want to make sure that your pan will hold it all. So now we're going to brown 1 pound of ground beef. I'm using lean ground beef. It's just my preference. You can use your preference. Then we like to use a meat chopper. I'm going to link this in the description below to break up the beef as it browns. Once the beef is nice and brown, drain off any excess grease if yours has any. Mine's pretty lean, so it's looking good. Then we're going to add in the seasonings. First is a tablespoon of garlic salt, and then 1 tablespoon Italian seasoning. Now, it may seem like a lot, but trust me, once it gets in with the sauce and it's layered with the ravioli, adds a ton of flavor. Then add 3 cans of crushed tomatoes. These cans are 15 ounces each. Then stir this together, and we're just going to heat it for a few minutes until that sauce is heated through and the flavors are combined. So you only need to let it heat through for a couple of minutes because we are going to bake this and it'll heat it the remaining way. So let's move this over and we will layer it into our lasagna. So before we start layering the lasagna, let's get our cheese ready. So for this recipe, we are using 4 cups shredded mozzarella cheese. We highly, highly, highly recommend that you shred your own. It only takes a couple of minutes to prep and it adds so much flavor. The cheese melts more smoothly and it's delicious. The pre-shredded cheeses are usually coated with some chemicals and a little carb that makes it not melt as well. So shredding your own is a game changer. We need 4 cups shredded, which is about a 16-ounce block of mozzarella cheese. So we're just going to go ahead and get this shredded, and then we will layer the lasagna. All right, the cheese is all shredded. Now it's time to layer the lasagna. So in the lasagna, we are going to layer ravioli, the meat sauce, and the cheese in a 9x13 pan. First, you want to spray the pan really well just so it'll be easier to serve. I'm using a spray avocado oil, which we love, but you can use a spray olive oil would work as well. So I like to do 2 layers, half, half, half. That's the way to remember. So first we're going to start with half of the ravioli and just put it in a thin layer at the bottom just so you get a bite in every piece. Just because I'm OCD, I like to flip them around so the flat side's down, but honestly it's not really required because it's all going to taste the same once it's baked through. So we like to try to do a single layer and make sure they don't overlap too much so you get a little bit of that cheese in every bite. And now we're going to layer half of the meat sauce on top. I'm going to link this for you guys. My sister and I just got turned on to these and they're amazing. It's like half spatula, half spoon, and it works awesome. I'm going to link that below. So just go ahead and spoon half of that sauce right on top of the lasagna in a nice even thin layer again so you get the delicious meat sauce in every bite. So you want to just do the same thing, a nice thin layer on top so you get the meat sauce in every bite. Okay, so when you're making this at home, make sure you wear an apron or wear a shirt that you don't like. As you can see, I already nuked myself a couple of times. So when you see the wet spots, it's because I'm trying to save the sweater because I wanted to look all cute for you guys. So when you make this, wear an apron. Hot tip. All right, next up we add the cheesy goodness. So sorry, we have puppies back here playing. You guys want to say hi. Their names are Rosie and Rio, so say hi to them in the comments and we'll read them to them. Or I will because I'm the crazy dog lady. All right, so half, half, and half is the way to go here. Half the ravioli, half the meat sauce, and then half the cheese. Now, you might think, oh, this seems like a lot of cheese when you're layering it on. but we've made this probably over 100 times and it's amazing. So trust us, it's so good. Layer that cheese on, and when it gets all melty and gooey, it's gonna taste amazing. Just sprinkle it in an even layer on top of the meat sauce, again in one single layer, so you get that cheesy goodness in every bite. Now it's time to repeat the layers. So we'll layer the lasagna. Oh, hi Rosie, off. We'll layer the lasagna right on top. I'm gonna get it in a thin layer. Just do the same thing. And my raviolis are circle ones, but some of them are square. It all tastes the same. Just make sure you get the cheese one and it'll work out great. Ooh, it looks perfect. So we're going to layer the ravioli on top, and then we're just gonna go ahead and dump the rest of this meat sauce right on top. And then layer with the remaining shredded mozzarella cheese. And then we're gonna top it with a half a cup of shredded Parmesan cheese. Just sprinkle that right on top. And now we cover it with foil. So the reason we cover it with foil is that we don't want the top to get too brown while the inside of this lasagna is getting cooked through. So go ahead and just cover and seal the top with foil. Then we're going to bake this for 30 to 35 minutes until it's nice and heated through. And then we'll remove this foil to get the top nice and brown. All right, I'm gonna get this in the oven. So it's been cooking for about 30 minutes. And then you wanna pull it out and just remove that foil. You wanna get the top nice and bubbly. Be careful because it will be hot. But now we're going to cook it for about 10 to 15 more minutes until the top is browned and that cheese is all melted. It's done. Okay, so I want to address this, get a front of it. So when I take the foil off, I do use my finger, but I use my nails so it doesn't burn my hand. So if you guys are watching that, that's what's going on. Okay, so now the top is all melted and it's brown. I do recommend that you let it set for about 10 to 15 minutes, and it's just so that sauce can thicken up a little bit. So then when you go to serve it, it's not like lasagna soup, it's more like a solid lasagna. So we're gonna let this rest for a few minutes and then it's ready to eat. So it's been resting for about 10 minutes and now it's ready to serve. When I serve this, I like to use like a metal edge spatula because I can use this as the knife and like cut it and serve it, and it works great. I usually put it in like a shallow bowl just because it is really saucy and delicious, and that way I don't have to worry about losing any of the sauce because I love a good saucy lasagna. This smells and looks amazing. See how it looks like the perfect lasagna without all the work. That's my favorite way to make things. And then all that's left is to serve it to your family. Now this is very filling with all the pasta, the cheese, and the sauce. It's very filling. When I make this, I usually just make a big salad to go with it, so I feel a little bit healthier. And then of course, don't forget garlic bread. I'm gonna link below our favorite amazing garlic bread for you guys as well. I am so hungry, I cannot wait to try it. This tastes just like a classic lasagna without all the work, which is why we love to call this our lazy day lasagna. It's the lazy way to make lasagna. All right, friends, thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss any more of our lazy but delicious recipes. And don't forget, I've linked this recipe in the description below for you. You guys have a great day. I'll see you next time in my sister's kitchen. Bye, friends.